You know what I noticed? Nobody really talks about being obedient, being disciplined when you're angry. So let's talk about it. See, behavioral obedience, the kind of discipline that you can see based off of someone's behaviors, that's pretty obvious. However, on the flip side, our emotional obedience, not so obvious. Because it's not so obvious, it's easy for that to spiral out of control. What do I mean by that? You can be sober. I've learned from experience that you can be sober and still be resentful. I found out that it's easy to look disciplined. It's much harder to actually get your feelings to align with your discipline and your obedience. What do I mean by that? So, from experience, I've learned that I can be sober and still struggle with anger. Why? Well, now that anger that I used to mask or numb or escape using drugs and alcohol, I now have to sit with. I now have to process. I now have to unpack. Because there is no running. There is no escaping it. There is no numbing it. When you're choosing sobriety, when you're being obedient, and you're deciding to stay disciplined. Nobody told me that part. I mean, just like anything else, you can show up. You can show up physically, but still be resentful inside. You can still be irritated. You can still not want to be there. And that is a case of your physical disciplines and your emotional discipline being out of alignment. Because truth is, it's easy, or at least easier, to be obedient and be disciplined when you're peaceful, when things feel at peace. Where the real work comes in is still being obedient, still being disciplined when you're irritated, when you're annoyed, when you're angry, when you're triggered. Yeah, that's where the real work, the real emotional obedience work comes in. Because the truth of the matter is, I've learned about myself that you can obey and be disciplined outwardly, but in the inside, still be boiling over with emotion, with anger, with resentment, with unaddressed triggers, just boiling over internally. You know the word. But because I don't get to numb my anger anymore and I have to sit in my anger, process my anger and my emotions like an adult, I've come to learn a few things. One of the big ones for me is that anger is not my enemy. Anger is not my enemy. Now, the impulse of acting on said anger can be. Truth is, I can feel angry without surrendering to it. And I used to surrender to my anger at the bottom of a Hennessy bottle. Judge me if you must, but hey, truth is what it is. But it's so much power in knowing that I can pause, that I can be angry, that I can process my emotions, that I can think about what it is that I'm feeling and not explode from it, and not run away from it, and not feel the need to amplify it. That right there, my friend, is some real growth. Some real growth. Powered by obedience and discipline. Woo. Emotional obedience is choosing alignment before reaction. Right? It's choosing to pause. It's choosing to ground myself. It's choosing to... Okay. I'm angry. Why am I angry? Why did that trigger me? And what am I going to do about it? Pausing before I respond. Not make decisions while I'm mad, while I'm heated. Like, girl, you're not yourself right now. And if you're a parent, if you're a mama, listen, we need this type of grounding, because those children that God blessed us with will try you every single day, on the daily, on repeat. That's literally part of their assignment, to grow you and stretch you in your patience and your emotional intelligence. So they're going to do their job. Those little babies are on assignment. So giving yourself the chance to just pause, process those emotions, recenter, is a lifesaver for you and them babies. And I've also learned to bring my anger to God before I bring it to other people. Because I'm going to tell God, God, I am so angry. I'm upset. I'm mad. I'm hurt. I'm disappointed. I'm frustrated. I'm triggered. I don't fully understand why I am in this moment, but I am, and I need you to help me. Help me now. Else it's about to get bad. You know how I am. You made me this way. Help me figure this out. I feel like this, and I don't want to feel like this. Help me. But hey, listen, that's just how I talk to God. How you talk to God is your business. But just know He's there to help you and support you and guide you in these circumstances and situations. Because our emotional obedience will directly affect and impact our obedience, our discipline, our consistency. We have to get those emotions to align.